who I kind of think I look like? Okay, you know that girl from the Goofy movie? The one that's like into poetry and everything? I feel like I have this kind of energy. And I'm kind of living for it. Like, I feel like I'm like a mysterious seductress, like poetry girly. Do you not see it though? Do you not see the vibe? Do you not see it? Like, ooh. Everyone else that you're not boring, but it's making me feel like my skin is crawling. I keep pouring out my empathy to someone I don't even see. Hi, welcome back to my how are you? How's it going? Today we're going to talk about the things I want to read for October. We're going to talk about horror that I want to read in this month. I have a lot of it. There's a lot of books. I don't think I'm going to read most of them. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to read most of these, but these are the things that I have in my heart and my dreams. These are the things I want to accomplish. These are the things I want to do. All right? Let's talk about the books that I want to read for this gorgeous, beautiful month. October is my favorite time of year, and I'm always underprepared. Every November, I'm like, next year, the bitches won't even know what to do with themselves. I'm gonna be so fucking ready for October next year, man. And then, 11 months later, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I am. Who am I? That's kind of just like a summary, though, of my life, I think. Like, I'm chronically underprepared. And yet, I pull through. Every single time. I fucking slay. It's kind of hard being me, just procrastinating and then literally fucking. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about the books I want to read. First of all, let's start with my Patreon. Let's start with my Start with my Patreon. I can't even say. Let's talk about my Patreon book club pick for October. My Patreon pick for October is The Handyman Method by Nick Cutter and some other guy. I literally don't remember who. I know that it's Nick Cutter and then some other dude. I don't know who he is. Sorry to that man. We're going to be reading this with not one, no, not two, three guests. We have Jan. Jan. And then we have Mike. Oh, Mike. Oh, if I was a man, I'd be gay for Mike. So weird to say. And then we have Gabby from Gabby Reads. Okay, not just any Gabby, not just Gabby, but Gabby Reads Gabby. And on my Patreon, in October, what am I high? What the fuck is going on? In October, these three people will be joining my Patreon. I've been filming for 6 minutes and already I seem like I'm high on crack or something. Cocaine? Crack? What's the difference? Anyway, we're gonna have those three people joining us for the Patreon. What is the Handyman Method about? That's a great question, Tiffany. It's about like a dude and his like family. They move to this house, right? They move into this house and it's kind of like a fixer-upper. You know what I mean? It's the kind of place where you flip it a little bit. They start looking up things. They go on youtube.com searching on how-tos and stuff like that for their renovation. And then they come across this specific channel where like this dude is like, this is how you do things, like with a hammer. But slowly, it seems these videos are kind of like an indoctrination of some kind. There's something weird happening with this channel, with this whole thing. I don't know what it is. I'm not a fucking scientist, but it's something. And it's suspicious. I'm gonna be honest with you, Tiffany. I wish I hadn't chosen this book to go on the poll for the Patreon because I am not excited to read it. It doesn't sound that great to me. Listen, I know a lot of girlies are like, to Nick Cutter. I'm not one of them. I'm not living, laughing, loving. We're gonna be reading that for the Patreon. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, let me tell you, okay? There's reading sprints, exclusive content, early access to content. So like you could see this video like a day before, 2 days before it goes live on YouTube, before the rest of the world sees it. You could see it early. Have fun. Also, I upload exclusive reading vlogs to Patreon. In October, I'm going to be uploading a reading vlog of The Only One Left by Riley Sager for the Patreon. Only the Patreon. No one else. You, on YouTube, you can't see it. It's not for you. The patrons, though, it's for them. The patrons and I, we just have a lot of fun. We talk shit. There's gay stuff happening. We talk about food like a lot. Anyway, I hope you join. If you don't, that's fine. If you do, oh my God, thank you so much. For the rest of my TBR, I don't even know where to start. Let me talk a little bit about one specific author who I am interested in reading more of this month, because when I think of her, I kind of think of like autumn, I kind of think of like Halloween, I kind of think of like a spooky season. And I want your help, please. If you would. Could you? Thanks. I really appreciate it. I only have some of her books, but I'm talking about Darcy Coats. Darcy Coats and I have a short relationship. I read one of her books, and then I was like, that was just fine. And I never read anything else. But I feel like I have so many of them. First of all, also the publisher sent me like a lot of these. So thank you so much to Poisoned Pen. I really appreciate it. I'm thinking I might read one or two of her books. Or I was also thinking, and this is crazy, but hear me out. I was thinking I might also just like do a whole video where I read all of her books or some of her books. What do you think? Would you be into that? Would you want to see that? Let me know, please. Thank you so much. Tell me what you think I should read, because I'm indecisive and I need other people's validation to tell me what I should do. First of all, I have Craven Manor. I think this is like a haunted house thing. This is like, I think one of her more early books. Look how pretty that is. I also have Hunted, which I'm assuming is like a forest thing, maybe with cannibals actually. It says her disappearance wasn't a mistake. Her rescue will be a mistake. I love her covers. Like, they're quite simple, but they're also very aesthetically pleasing, I would say. The Caro Haunt, this is one of them that I've heard a lot about. This cover is kind of tacky, I'm not gonna lie. I just think the whole like, oh, pretty skinny girl on the cover is floating and it's spooky. It's not. I'm not feeling it. But I've heard good things about this specific book though. The House Next Door. Don't know what this is about. Literally no idea. Dead Lake. Again, literally no idea what this is about. I do enjoy this cover though. And then the last one that I have is, I think, one of her more recent ones, and that is The Haunting of Leah Harker. If you have read any of these, please tell me which one you think I should read. I would really appreciate it. You're the best. Literally, oh my God. Literally, what would I do without you? Probably shrivel up and die, to be honest. I want to talk to you about this book, which is Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. I'm really excited to read it because it sounds really cool. This is about Willow. Her son unalived himself. It was like really sad. So he's dead. It's a bummer. As she's like cleaning up his room and everything like that, she finds on his floor something carved into the wood. Clifford Island. Literally carved into her son's floor. And so she's like, the fuck is Clifford Island? So she goes to Clifford Island. It's like a place, apparently. She's like, hello, Clifford Island. Happy to be here. And then she notices everyone on Clifford Island is seemingly stuck in 1994. Everybody uses cassettes and shit. Everybody has like VHS players, and people are like watching Aladdin on repeat, Jurassic Park. There's no modern technology. And so she's like, it's fucking weird. That's like the face that she made, by the way. Like when she like realized, she was like, what's even weirder? It's like, she'll ask people like, what the fuck is up with like the whole like 1994 thing? Like, the fuck is going on? They'll be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? They treat her question as if it's the weird one, as if they're not weird for living in 1994, rewatching the OJ trial and shit. Like, what? But what's even weirder, the only rule, the thing that she's told, is to close your curtains at nighttime. Why? For what purpose? And then eventually Willow kind of disappears, like she's just gone. So her brother then comes to the island. But that's kind of the part of the story where I'm like, could we not just stick with Willow? Like, why couldn't we just have Willow the whole time? But like, whatever, it's fine. I'm excited to read this, and I want to read it because it sounds creepy. It sounds funny. I have not spoken about this book, I think, in probably like a year to 2 years, but I've owned it and I've never read it, and I think that's literally a crime. That is The Other by Thomas Tyron. This is a classic horror novel. I love this cover. This is about like two twins whose names are Holland and Niles, right? One of the twins is like the good twin. The other twin is like the evil twin. And I'm pretty sure it's about how the evil twin wants to kill everyone, and I think maybe does. And then the other twin is like, the fuck? We were literally a happy fucking family, and now everyone's dead. The evil twin's like, well, I'm gonna kill you now too. Which I feel like is like a thing that you don't see a lot in like in literature, in media, is like twins killing each other. I'm excited. This has been on my shelves for forever, and I've never read it. Why? Up next is a book that I don't own, but I do want to read and perhaps own, depending if I like it, and that is Knock Knock, Open Wide by Neil Sharpson. This book sounds crazy. So apparently this is like horror mixed with like Celtic mythology type shit. We start out with Atane, this woman, she's like driving. She's driving home. It's late at night, whatever. She's just trying to go home, whatever. And she comes across a corpse on the road. She's driving. Boom. Oh, it's a dead body. What would you do in that situation? You know, like what would you do if you just found a dead body? I would probably get on the phone. Hello, with the authorities. I found a dead body. There's a dead body here. I didn't do it. I didn't make the body dead, but it's dead and it's here. So just thought you should know. What does she do? No, she doesn't do that. Why would she? She takes it to a barn house. And it says, and I quote, begins a night of unspeakable horror that will take her to the very brink of sanity. The fuck are you doing, Atane? What? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Cut to 20 years later, this girl, Betty, is bringing her girlfriend home, Aisling. Betty's a little bit worried because Atane, her mother, is like this crazy drunk. But like Aisling is like, I'm ready to meet your parents. Like, I want us to be open or whatever. She learns about her family's history and like her mom, even her lover's obsessions. She gets fucking weirded out. Things get weird. That's what it seems like to me. I don't really know what is gonna happen, but I'm in for it. Like, it sounds fucking weird. Also, lesbians. Honestly, the lesbian part was the part where I was like, okay, I'll read it. It could be a book called like Turd City 2, Revenge of the Turds. And if you told me that there were lesbians in it, I'd be like, sign me up. I'm ready to read it. Let's go. I'll do anything for lesbians. The next book I want to talk about is one that I heard about from my patrons. I don't think I would have actually found this book on my own, which is such a shame because it sounds so fucking cool. So this is like medieval horror, where it's like set in like old town France, like really, really old France, like 16th century France or something like that. All of the communities are kind of being plagued. All of this weird shit is happening all over the place, except for this one place called like Enfer, until dead things are found in the field of Enfer. Not just like dead things, but like twisted, repulsive, weirdly malformed things. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm into it. Also, by the way, in case I didn't mention, it's called His Black Tongue. That title also. And the cover, oh, you could convince me with anything with a cover like this. Next up, let's talk about a book that I haven't talked about, I think, in probably a few months. It's honestly a book I forgot that I owned. And that is Dead Daughters by Tim Meyer. This, I think, is more of like a thriller, but it sounds quite horrific to me. This is basically about this guy, right? It's like 9 p.m. or something like that, and he's like doing dishes or whatever. I don't know. He's like a dad, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. Although I don't know why you would get that from him doing dishes. But anyway, honestly, this guy's like living in the dream life, okay? He has a perfect house, the perfect fucking family, perfect job. Everything is going amazingly for this guy. Forget his name. Until he gets a blank envelope in the mail. And inside that envelope was a Polaroid of his daughter, dead, like murdered. Which is so weird to him because he literally just tucked her in. He just like literally just put her to bed 10 minutes ago. She's in her bed. She should be. And that begins this crazy story, right? Like him trying to figure out like what the fuck's going on, and the police being like, the fuck is going on? Also him starting up his own investigation when the police don't get it right, and him being like, what the fuck is going on? The whole thing. What's also weird too, there's like somebody following his daughter to school, like in a van and stuff. Not only that, but she says that she sees a man outside of her window at night. Creepy. Spooky. Nothing is scarier than a predator, right? That's true. Quickly, I want to mention this because I do think I want to read it in October, because if I'm gonna read this, it has to be now. It has to be in this month because it's perfect. Although this is actually the wrong volume. What the fuck am I doing? Una memento, I grabbed the wrong volume. Did you miss me? I'm talking about PTSD Radio, Volume 2. I have read this. It scared me. Literally frightened me. I have the second volume. I've been afraid to pick it up. But look how pretty this is. Oh my god. The color. I don't have Volume 3 yet, but I do have these two. I'm literally obsessed with it, even though I'm literally afraid. I don't know what it's about, but I know that it's spooky. I know that every time I open this manga to like a random page, my skin crawls. You're like, okay, you're being dramatic, Jordaline. I'm not. I'm literally fucking not. I'm not. Like, I just opened it and also this guy looks like a penis. I might honestly also reread Volume 1 just so I kind of like have it fresh in my memory before I go into this. I'm also thinking I might read Fantastic Land by Mike. Are all of these books by men? I think a good portion of them are. Every time I mention this book, you are like, it's so good. It's amazing. You need to read it. And I believe you, Tiffany. God. It says, get ready for a struggle for survival in the most unlikeliest of places. Prepare to visit Fantastic Land. Fantastic Land apparently is a mixture between Lord of the Flies and Battle Royale. I have not read Lord of the Flies, and I've read part of Battle Royale. I never finished it. I don't know how like accurate that is, but from what I know, it's about this like amusement park called Fantastic Land. And the whole thing about Fantastic Land is that like fun is guaranteed for you. Guaranteed. You go to Fantastic Land, you're gonna have fun. And then this horrible hurricane happens, right? It's like literally crazy. The hurricane is crazy. 5 weeks later, a bunch of like rescue teams and stuff come up and they're like, we're gonna save the people who were stuck in Fantastic Land, because there were like employees and stuff like that stuck. They get there and they find a fucking horror show. There's like heads on spikes, like human remains and guts just like spewed all over the place, like viscera, human bones littering the gift shops. The police are like, did we miss something? What happened? And it says that it's presented as a fact-finding investigation with a bunch of like first-person interviews. And basically what happened was that like the survivors created their own little cliques, their own little groups or whatever, and they like started to fight each other. Literally horrifying. It sounds fucked up. First of all, I love a feral book about feral people. I love the idea that like once you strip away like the facade of society, oh my god, I sound like one of those dudes. But once you strip away like the facade of capitalism and patriarchy and government even, all you're really left with is just like literally an animal. And that's something that I'm like really interested in. I also want to talk to you about a few Japanese horror novels, quite quickly actually, because I talk about them all the time. Maybe I should go back to the Japanese horror vlog I was doing. Let me know down below if you would be interested in seeing that, because I don't know, maybe I'll go back. But I have, first of all, what I just mentioned, Battle Royale. I'm still 200 pages in. I should finish this book. I really should, because I do really love it. Again, I love this cover so fucking much. It's, oh my god, I want this tattooed on my body too, like literally. Anyway, in case you don't know, which I'm sure you do though, you have to know what this is about, but in case you don't know, Battle Royale is about 42 students who are like put on an island and then told, fight for your fucking life. Literally fight to the death. They're told like, hey, 14-year-olds, kill each other. Otherwise we'll kill you. And in this Battle Royale, only one person can leave. Only one person can get out alive. It's wild. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's pretty fucked. You see children die. I also have In the Miso Soup, which is another Japanese horror novel I've been talking about a lot lately. This one is about a tourist and his tour guide. Bitch, is this fucking Fast and the fucking Furious Tokyo fucking Drift? I don't fucking think so. What the fuck? Anyway, this is about like a tourist and a tour guide and weird shit that this tourist American guy wants, I think. I really don't think that this would take very long to read. I should read this. To Have Rings by Koji Suzuki. I've had, I think, a few people that I know have read this. I know Tall has read this. I think she really liked it. This is, I think, the novel that inspired the movies, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. Honestly, I was gonna do like a try it chapter for like Japanese horror novels, and then I just like never finished that video. You know what The Ring is about. I'm not going to explain it to you because you know what it's about. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you know what it's about. You do. This book is embarrassing because I've been talking about it for so long. I keep saying I'm going to read it and I never fucking do because I'm a loser. That is Goth by Ostiuchi. I'm obsessed with this cover. Look how pretty that is. This is about two girls and they bond over their love of the macabre. They're like obsessed with this like serial killer or just serial killers in general. And it seems like it's a short story collection about them coming into contact with all of these different killers and all of these weird fucked up things. I read the first story. It was really fucked up. There was somebody who was found. They were sitting against a tree, dead, because they were missing their head. Their abdomen was carved out, and their head was in their abdomen. I'm explaining it as if I've actually seen it with my eyes. I have not. That's how visceral it is. I read that like 4 years ago, and it has literally never left. I can see it in my mind's eye, and now you can too. It literally imprinted itself on me. And ever since then, I've been like, I want to go back and I want to finish it. But also I've been like, it was spooky. It was scary. I'm scared. I'm going to read this before 2023 ends. Maybe not in October. I don't know. I'm not fucking psychic, but before 2023 ends, I'm going to read it. Another horror book that I really want to read, and the one that I've owned, I think, since it came out, is Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. Look at this pretty cover. This is about Vera. Vera gets a phone call. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Oh, hi, Vera. It's your mother. How are you? Good. That's great. You need to come home. Yeah, just come home. But what if I don't want to? That's the thing. What if I don't want to? You need to come home. Vera, obeying her mother, is like, okay, I'm gonna go home. She goes home to her family home, whatever. Except her father was a serial killer and literally like buried the bodies of his victims underneath the house. Vera going home, quite traumatic. And not only that, but like there's this dude who's like renting a room, and he's like this like douchey artist who's like, oh, just respect or whatever, but he's like stripping her entire childhood. Like he's like using all these things for his art or whatever. And Vera thinks that he's leaving notes to her in her father's handwriting, and she's like, can you just fuck off? Can you stop leaving notes in my dad's handwriting for me? And he's like, why would I do that? That's fucking weird. Why? Also, how would I know what your dad's handwriting looked like? That's fucking, what? Excuse me? And it says that there are secrets yet discovered in the foundations of the notorious Crowder house. Vera must face them and find out for herself just how deep they go. It sounds so good. Like, the fuck is going on with those notes? Why did her mom want her to go back though, too? Why wouldn't they have moved? If I knew that somebody I loved was murdering people in the house I was living in, I wouldn't stay in that house. That's so weird. I don't know. I don't think I would. The last book I want to talk about is this one, which is called Mayfly by CJ Lead. Look how pretty. This is about a woman named Maeve. She works at like Disneyland or something, or like something like akin to Disneyland. She's like a princess. That's like her day job, right? But then at night, Maeve comes alive. Maeve's out there just fucking blah, 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 partying it, like doing drugs or whatever, and like I don't know, fucking random people in like bar bathrooms, like being messy basically. And then she meets this like dude who's like her friend's brother or something like that. He's like one of those guys where you're like, everything that they say, you kind of give them like a side eye. When your friend starts dating them, you're kind of like, was literally every other man on earth not available? Like, what happened? Like, it's that kind of vibe. It's the kind of dude who probably doesn't like wash his ass or his legs. You know what I mean? Like, it's the kind of dude who has like underwear with like skid marks. Like, it's the kind of dude who like smokes weed at like 10 o'clock in the morning and then asks you to make him a bowl of like cornflakes. Like, it's the kind of dude. It's the kind of dude who probably like drives like his mom's old like fucking Taurus or something like that. Like, it's that kind of dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's the kind of dude who's probably unemployed, probably still lives with his parents or like a sibling or something. Or he's the kind of dude who's like, yeah, right now I'm just kind of like couch surfing. Sir, you're 34 years old. Let's go back to the synopsis. His name, by the way, is Gideon. Gideon moves to town and he like awakens something in Maeve. Nothing good, that's for fucking sure. Something dangerous, and the world she knows suddenly shifts. Untethered, Maeve ditches her disconnected act and tries on a new persona, a bolder and bloodier one. I think Maeve is literally gonna go on like a killing spree. You know how I was talking before about like once you strip back like capitalism and society and blah 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 blah, like all you're really left with is like an animal. I feel like Maeve is gonna become that animal. I feel like she's gonna go fucking feral, and I'm kind of living for it. I can't wait to read it. It sounds really good. I've also heard very good things about it. People always tell me, especially like on my Patreon, people are always like, I'm reading it and it's so good. I love that. So I'm really excited to read it. Anyway, my friends, my family, my familia, thank you so much for watching this video, for being here. So much fun seeing you. You look amazing, by the way. Ugh, if only I was single. I literally am. It's so sad. Okay, anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit subscribe because we talk about spooky shit, talk about creepy shit, talk about PTSD Radio and dead daughters and crazy twins. Hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget also to let me know down below what you're reading for October, what you're doing in October. I want to know about all your spooky plans. Bye. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Bye. Goodbye. I'm gonna miss you. Bye. Don't leave. Don't leave.